Hello everybody, my name is Jordan Leroy Hansen, also known as LevDev, or on Twitter as PG Hansen. And for those who are new, welcome to the Brewing Labs. Now I'm going to be trying a little bit of a new format here to try to do some experimentations, but before we start, if you do like what you're going to be seeing here and such, and you just watch the video and you actually like what you see, if you can you please like and subscribe? Sorry, I know every YouTuber says this, I know that. But I really am trying to up my subscriber count and such, and just essentially being able to help maybe even make a few little bucks out of this, just to help out the channel and such. So, if you can, or if you want to support any other ways, you can also support with my Pinfinity AR link, where you can buy really unique pins and such that are from the Pinfinity website. There's a variety of nerd memorabilia as well as Magic the Gathering. You can even subscribe to the subscription and get kind of like monthly or tri-monthly pins, which is ridiculously awesome. Now that we got that out of the way, let's actually talk about the new format, or how new formatting of this channel, the Brewing Labs. So, what I'm going to do is essentially, for those who don't know, I have a Twitch channel, which the Twitch is LevDev. Now, the way that this is going to work is I'm actually going to have a Brewing Labs live, which essentially is going to show off the deck for the week and such. That will be on Thursdays, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to see the deck firsthand and actually just watch me play it for a few hours and such, that's where you can watch it. Also, pretty much we will have still the YouTube series, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to clip the highlight matches from pretty much my Twitch live stream and such, as well as just have a little bit of just a deck intro or explaining kind of like the combo synergies you want to play with the deck, show the highlight gameplays, show the wrap up and such. And I thought this would be a nice way to streamline the setup, as well as to give Crow a way to essentially have a consistent little schedule when producing this, rather than me trying to find the right time to essentially play the games and all that stuff. So, this is an experiment. If you like what you see, let me know in the comments. If you want to keep it back to the old format, just let me know in the comments as well. So, nevertheless, let's actually talk about this deck, which, technically 2 decks, because we are primarily brewing in Alchemy and Historic. Mostly brewing around new cards from the Streets of New Capenna Alchemy set. And I have to admit, I do really like this Alchemy set of Streets of New Capenna. They really have some nice experimental designs. There's definitely going to be some that are going to be doing some Jake brewing. But if I had to summarize the expansion in a nutshell, other than there were some very pushed cards, Gruul got pretty much buffed absurdly thanks to this expansion. Specifically, the 2 Gruul rare cards we got from Streets of New Capenna Alchemy is just ridiculously powerful. The less of the bunch, but not to be underestimated, is probably the Cabaretti Revels. It's a free mana enchantment that essentially allows you to, whenever you cast a creature spell, you seek out a creature with lesser converted mana cost and put it onto the battlefield for free, which, yeah, that's very strong. Not going to deny that. Being able to get incremental mana value from essentially your creature spells and more board presence, nothing to underestimate. But the primary silly card that we are brewing this following decks around, and is probably one of the more powerful cards that came from the set, and that is the Racketeer Boss, which is pretty much a 2-drop. When it enters the battlefield, 2 cards, either creatures or planeswalkers, in your hand perpetually get, whenever you cast a spell, create a treasure token. Okay, so let's get to why this is going to be silly. Mostly, now, there's the fair way of playing this card, which essentially is just, oh, you're playing this in kind of like a stompy list that allows you to essentially be able to store up mana when you cast your creature spells to help get stompy later game spells and such, like cast a free drop and then incrementally get the mana to cast your Elder Gargoyle off on turn 5 and such. That's definitely the fair way of playing the card. However, the way we're brewing around it is more based on a combo. Now, for those who know the standard variation of this with Burgi, you probably know where I'm going with this, but for those who don't, we're going to combo Racketeer Boss with Grinning Ignis. For those who don't know this card, it's 2 and a red for a elemental. It essentially has a activated ability of 1 red to bounce to our hand and generate 2 in red mana, which coincidentally we can use to recast the Grinning Ignis. Now, for those to just essentially explain the combo, what we're doing is we're going to use Racketeer Boss to essentially give the Grinning Ignis this perpetual ability of generating treasure. That gives it enough mana to essentially be able to activate its ability, bounce it to our hand, and essentially recast it, generate the treasure, and get essentially infinite treasures, which then, if we have like multiple Racketeer bosses, that actually will generate us another treasure with that, depending on how many ETB stacks we have on the Grinning Ignis, which can give us infinite mana, but mostly we're brewing around the factor that we're constantly having a creature enter the battlefield, leave the battlefield, enter the battlefield, and such. So we have definitely the Alliance trigger cards, like, for example, the Witty Roastmaster, essentially being able to deal damage to our opponent and such. We also have some historic variations, which, since we are generating essentially infinite artifacts due to the treasure tokens being artifacts, we have stuff like the Reckless Fireweaver, which is a 2-drop that coincidentally can be tutored by the Cabaret Revels, since when you're casting Grinning Ignis constantly, that also constantly triggers Cabaret Revels. And you can kind of see the shenanigans that this deck's archetypes can provide. Now, I've made both a historic variation and an alchemy variation of brewing around this combo. The historic variation is kind of like a more refined variation, where essentially we are just essentially using the Reckless Fireweaver, and essentially as long as we can get to the combo, we can essentially infinitely go off and such. While the alchemy is definitely a more experimental variation, where we are testing some landfall matter cards, specifically with Ashaya, because if we have the Grinning Ignis, Reckless Fireweaver, or not, Grinning Ignis, Racketeer Boss combo, along with Ashaya, that will give us infinite landfall triggers as well as the infinite alliance triggers. Nevertheless, we're going to show off a few matches from the historic variation, and then we're going to show off a few matches from the alchemy variation, including one highlight match that's let's just say it's a little bit of a win more. I'm not going to lie on that one, and it's probably one of the longer matches of the bunch. Nevertheless, if you are curious about the deck list, you can find them in the Motsfield links down below. I've been actually liking that site a lot, being able to upload deck techs and such and just essentially show them off. So if you want to see the decks, they're in the captions down below, so that'll be fun. And once you're done watching the gameplay, we'll have a little bit of a summary wrap-up and just kind of like explain, kind of like my opinion on the deck designs. So, see you in a bit. Bada beep, bada boop. Okay, here we can play this as a tap land, and this will enter and untap. We have the combo with the Grinning Ignis and Racketeer Boss, and we have Terror of the Peaks. I think this is a keep. We can let this in tap. This will enter and untap. Ooh. Okay, so Celestia shenanigans. Okay, I'm going to turn down the audio just a little bit since the audio is a little loud. Let's go, like, right there. Perfect. Okay. So it looks like our opponent's playing kind of like an enchanting deck of some sort. Maybe enchantment travel. Interesting. Okay, next turn we'll probably play the Racketeer Boss, perpetually giving the Reinforced Ronin and one of the Green Ignises the Treasure Generation ability. Well, there we go. Okay, Racketeer Boss, here you go. There we go. There. Puppy! So it's definitely an Enchantress deck of some sort, I think. Well, we're gonna play this. best part is if we don't draw lands, we can actually just use this to ramp into Terror the Peaks, technically. But I think here we're going to hold up the Voltage Surge, so... No! Oh, no, wait. Yeah, pass it in turn. I don't want to challenge this. This could help us ramp, so... And there's the Enchantress. So, yeah, that needs to go. That was a nice draw. So here, we're just going to play this again, generate some mana. I think we can play the Gruul out just to get him out. And next turn, we should be able to play a Terror of the Peaks, and then just set up the Green Ignis combo. There we go. A little bit of filtering. A lot of filtering. Interesting. Okay, they're going for card draw. Probably to draw a mana source just to be safe, or a board wipe. Actually, we're going to have to be cautious of that. They could be essentially having a board wipe here. If that's the case, then would it be better for me to actually just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I think I'm going to play this a little conservatively. And actually just wait till we get to 8 mana. But, like, the best thing about this deck is, even if it's not a combo deck, we are still just winning by just typical mid-range shenanigans. Here, we're probably going to see a board wipe, though. That's why I didn't want to play the Terror at the Peaks. Alright, let me check the chat real quick. Ooh, Vanishing Light on one of our creatures. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we draw an untapped land source, we do just go kinda infinite here, so let's see what happens. Might just now toss this and see if we can draw a land, so... Nope. Actually, wait. Yeah, we got this. No, wait, we don't got this. We got this, but not through the combo way. We just have to do is just deal 2 damage to our opponent and swing in for lethal. Yes! Hey, Jay Relentless. Yeah, so far the new NTG set at the moment is kind of like the... Technically, the recent one on Arena would probably be the Alchemy Streets of New Capenna set. As for just, like, actual sets, I think the one that just came out is probably the Baldur's Gate one that's coming out this week, technically. But yeah, a lot of product. A lot of product. Anyway, ooh, that's a good hand. That is a very good hand. Anyway, I hope you're having a good night tonight, though. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna play this. We're gonna play the Racketeer Boss. And we should have the combo ready to go. Just hope our opponent doesn't play any hand disruption, and we are solid. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna play the Innkeeper. Ramp a little bit. And we should be ready to go next turn. We should be. Our opponent's deciding whether or not they want to block the snake. So I'm guessing the fact that they're playing Lotus Cobra, it's some mid-range deck, or it could just be a landfall deck. They decide not to, so we're going to pass the turn. And we should have, yeah, that should be enough mana to do the combo. Anyway, we're going to show off the combo in a quick minute. Bada-boo. Ah, you're doing the Yorion less. Wait. Legacy has literally a Yorion. Oh, you said you updated Yorion Death and Taxes list to a Yorion Saga list. Going to get sagas in a few months. Which sagas are you looking at, out of curiosity? Oh, probably Urza's Saga, if I have to make a guess. Probably Urza's. Ooh! Oh, there's on that. Well, that's a good card, but I think we got the game. So, here's how the combo works. We're going to play Reckless Fire Leader. Now we're going to play the Green Ignis that has the Perpetual trigger, generated by Racketeer Boss. And then what we do here is we sacrifice a red, bounce this to our hand, get the mana, cast it again, generate a treasure, sacrifice the red, bounce it to hand, and pretty much our game plan here is we're going to try to pin our opponent to death.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And our opponent sees the combo, and they decide to concede. Bada-bip-bop-bada-boo-hoo! And yeah, that is the combo, essentially. Roastmaster, Velvet Inspiration. Obviously, we're playing the Razor's Green because it allows us to draw into cards to try to draw into the combo, but also it's just a land that we can essentially just a dual land. I think I am going to. This one's really tempting because if we draw into a Green Ignis, we can get the combo off pretty quick, but I do think this is a mulligan. Here's a lot better. We have the Green Ignis Burgee combo. We can just toss a Boseiju, and we can get some card draw from the Valakut Exploration here. Okay. I'm gonna play this, hold up the Boseiju just in case if we need it. Judging by the Davriel sleeves as well as blue-black, we're probably playing against a control deck of some sort. Here, I'm going to play the Valakut Exploration to try to fish out a counterspell. So... okay. Our opponent allows it. Oh, it's rogues. Okay. I was a little worried there for a minute. Sure. Yeah, we do this. Really, the catch here is...
violence is necessary to set things right.
The catch we have here is essentially we have to more or less get one of these on the battlefield safely, the Witty Roastmaster, Green Ignis, or such. And then we have almost enough mana to essentially do the Green Ignis Burgee combo and deal infinite points of damage to our opponent.
is free.
Well, actually, let's do the math here. So we do this. We played already Roastmaster. Yep, we're off by just 1 mana. Well, if Burgee stays alive here and they don't hold up counter magic, we should be good. Okay, good. Yes, they tapped out. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Okay, what do they steal? They're probably going to steal the Ashaya, is my guess. Yep. Which makes them only have access to green mana, so no counter magic, which is perfect. So, first time playing this, we actually are going to go off the combo. It was at this moment where I, Levdev, had realized that I had missed the perfect opportunity against rogues to say that I have stolen the game. Please accept this moment of silence for the pun that was lost within making of this video. Okay, moving on.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Split around it? I probably shouldn't keep this hand, but I'm curious. Okay, a person that plays Delegate Sanctuary. I can appreciate that. I can respect that a lot. Love this card. Pretty much played this in almost every EDH deck that has green. Mono green? Looks like mono green. Now, if we can draw a Racketeer Boss, we can be going off to the races. Well, close going off to the races, I guess is a better way to phrase it. So it's Selesnya. That actually could be problematic because there's one specific anti-treasure card that can kind of hose this deck, I'm not gonna lie. Yasharn can really hose at least the Witty Master combo with the Racketeer Boss combo, essentially. Well, we played Burgee. Then we pass the turn. That's actually good that we draw the Burgee there, because as long as they don't play Yasharn, we should be good. Or any removal for Burgee, specifically. Because what's going to happen is we cast a Witty Roastmaster, we get the red, that's enough red to play Green Ignis. When we cast that, we're going to get red from that. And in theory, we should be pretty solid. What does our opponent cast with their 4 mana, though, is the question. Or are they using treasure as more of a responsive thing? Interesting. But yeah, this player does have some great taste at playing Valgate Sanctuary. Love this card. Okay, opponent, are you going to cast something else? Okay, so this looks like a life gain deck. Are we going to see like a cleric or... And the answer seems to be no. Okay. Well, let's see if they have the answers. I'm a little bit concerned with the free mana untapped because they could have instant speed removal here. There's the instant speed removal I was suspecting. Well, we're gonna bounce this to hand. And just cast Burgie again.
I'm back!
Pass turn to our opponent. They had one instant speed removal. Do they have another? If they don't... Okay. Ah, that's a good counterplay for our opponent. Because they can steal our green Ignis, so... Good counterplay from our opponent. That's a good card to have, I'm not gonna lie. That's... Was still kind of in between a rock and a hard place still, if I'm being quite frankly honest. Yes. We're not going to attack in for obvious reasons. And we'll see what our opponent draws. If we top deck another green Ignis, then we're going to show off some shenanigans. Okay. If not, then this might be a case where our opponent will incrementally draw their removal, which then might disrupt our combo a lot more. Okay, they're gonna go for the card draw. Okay. So close. We're not going to attack in for obvious reasons. So we're hoping to draw land or a free drop, essentially. Because if we draw a land and hopefully Lotus Cobra stays on the battlefield, then we can play a Shia. A Shia will tutor for any creature from the Cabaretti Rebels triggers, so... Our opponent's playing a very interesting budget land deck, I'm not gonna lie. It's very interesting to see the design of this deck. Oh. Hey.
I have so many new weapons I want to try out.
That's concerning. Because if your opponent's playing a Kaya...
I can teach you a thing or two.
Okay, are they going to swing in, or are they just building it up? Come on, deck up. Okay, they drew another land, so they're going to tap down. They have only one card in hand. What is the card? I'm going to guess that's a board wipe. That could... Oh, wait. That could also be the Angel spell. So if that's
Need
what
a
I
weapon?
think it is, if it's
Got
the
clipped.
generate a lot of Angel tokens, we do need to top deck a land or a Grinning Ignis now. Or at least pretty soon. Does that work? I mean, it doesn't work, but eh. Ah. Yeah, I think what I gotta do here is... They all gotta go like Kaya. Okay. I'm gonna get some -2 and a lot of angels is my guess.
got the perfect tools for the
Then
job.
I'm guessing that's a board wipe? Okay, it's a board wipe. Phew. There would be some worlds where that would be like an, oh no, board wipe. But like I said, we have a lot more ways to do the combo in the deck. So, case in point. Oh my, oh boy. Well, time to show off the combo. So, we're gonna do the one that has the treasure trigger. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now we're going to bounce this one to hand, but instead do the one where it generates us free treasures. And there we go. We'll just get some red, and we should have the game. And our opponent can see. Yes! Can I blame my opponent? Not one bit. But I'm definitely going to be printing the screen of this because that is the highlight of the night. And that is Rich Gruul for both the historic as well as alchemy variation of it. And as you can see, I really love these deck archetypes. I will say, though, a few cons to keep in mind when playing this deck. One of the main weaknesses to the deck is either ridiculously hyper aggro variations of deck designs and such. Like, when you're playing Historic, there's stuff like elves and such. So, if you, due to the fact of setting up the combo does take a few turns, you are very prone to hyper-base aggro decks, and if you don't have any realm of defending, you will die pretty quick. The other fault of the deck, I will say, is for any hand disruption. Especially when you're playing a Historic, there's stuff like Thoughtseizes of the world. And of course, there's the fact that if you play the Racketeer Boss, well, someone can Thoughtseize your quote-unquote card that gets the Perpetual ability, and you kind of get pretty much your combo destroyed. So, I will say, it's definitely good to try to, as you can see with both brews, try to have a plan of still just being kind of like a mid-range stompy deck, more or less. And that's kind of like my recommendation with brewing around this. If you are wanting to implement on the deck designs, try to go for more stompy variation that just has the combo as a backup plan and such. But if you want to go full on combo, maybe just keep in some potential tutors and such. And seriously, Racketeer Boss. Oh, look at that card. I am definitely curious to see if the card still stays its same design, essentially, and doesn't get iterated on in the future. But, as you see from the gameplay, it can do some silly shenanigans. Granted, the card's not going to be as silly post-rotation when the Grinning Ignis does rotate out of the Alchemy format, but you still have this funny brew within Historic. Nevertheless, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this new formatting and such. I'm going to experiment this on my next few videos and such that are in the Brewing Labs variety. So, nevertheless, hope you all enjoyed the video. You all have a lovely day. As they say, hip hip hooray!